Hello dear students, welcome to online classes by Technocrats International School. Today we are going to study about computers for class 4. So the topics that we are going to discuss today are mentioned here. We are going to discuss about the definition of a computer, and then we are going to study the classification of computer. So you all know this very well already, that how to define a computer, since you have been studying about computers from very early classes of yours. So you are already aware of the definition, but still for a very quick revision I would like to repeat the definition for you all. So the definition of a computer is, it is an electronic machine or an electronic device that takes input from the user and processes those inputs and then gives you the desired output or the result. This is how a computer works. You're already familiar with the working of a computer. You have to give instructions to the computer, and then the computer will take the instructions from you. It will process those instructions accordingly, and then it will give you the result. So this is the cycle: input, processing, and then output. So this is the definition of a computer. Now, a computer comes in various shapes and sizes, and there are of so many types. Okay, so we need to know that how a computer can be classified. Classification means dividing or categorizing a particular thing into various types. So classification of computers will lead us to the various types of computers. Okay, so what are the various types of computers? How can we classify them into different categories? That we are going to see. So this is a chart that I have prepared, and in this chart we can see that a computer is divided in two categories. Firstly, the first category is according to purpose. The second category is according to size, which means a computer can be divided in two categories. One is according to the purpose. Purpose means our wish with or according to which we want the computer to work. Okay, so the purpose that the computer is going to fulfill for us, that is going to be the first category. What task we want the computer to accomplish, or what are the things that we need our computer to do for us. So this is the purpose. So first category is, we will be classifying computers according to the purpose they solve. Then the second category is according to the size, which means that a computer is not always of the same size. A computer comes in various shapes and sizes. So we are going to divide the computers on the basis of their sizes. Okay. So according to purpose, we can classify a computer in three categories. First is analog, second is digital, and the third is hybrid. We all are living in the digital world and digital technology. So you all are already aware and familiar with the word digital. Let's go back to some previous times where analog was the keyword. What is analog and how do you define an analog computer? So you must have seen wall clocks at your house. This is how a wall clock looks, right? And whenever any device has an indicator and you have to use your own mind and processing to analyze things from that device, then that device is known as an analog device, because you have to analyze on the basis of your knowledge. You might have learned how to calculate time from a watch, how to see time and decode time, what time is in the watch. You need to know that. So for that you might have studied in your previous classes that when the smaller hand is on 3 and the bigger hand is on 12, the time is 3 o'clock. Yes? So this is analog, because there are some indicators and you have to analyze it and then find your correct weight. Okay, you have to analyze it by seeing it. Similarly, a thermometer. You might have used a thermometer various times, but you might have not been able to find out what is the temperature decoded in that. That your parents do for you, because sometimes it is difficult for us to find that out. Again, it is an analog machine. Why it is analog? Because there are various indications on that, and then you have to use your own mind to analyze what is the result. Similarly, all these machines are called as analog machines because there is no digital time written on that or digital reading written on that. You have to analyze it and then you have to find out the result. So these are called as the analog machines. And the various examples I have already given you. I will write it down for your convenience. The first example is a thermometer. The second example can be a weighing machine. The third example is the speedometer. You might have seen speedometers when you are riding with your parents on a bike, motorbike or a scooty. There is a speedometer that indicates that what is the speed of your motorcycle right now, or how many kilometers it has travelled. So all these things, they are represented in the analog manner. You have to see and analyze. Fine. Now we are moving on to the digital computers. The first one was the analog and these are the examples, and there can be many more examples. Okay. The second one is the digital computers. So what are the digital computers? Digital is the improvised version of analog. Analog means you have to analyze, but in digital you don't have to analyze, it will directly show you the result. For example, there is a thermometer which is analog, but these days the digital thermometer is very famous. Okay, you just need to use the thermometer and it will automatically start beeping once your temperature has been recorded. Right? Which is very common in these days. It must be there at your house also. You can ask your parents to show it to you how it works, right? So there is a digital thermometer, which is one example, and in digital computers, binary mathematics is the most important concept. What is binary mathematics? What is binary? All these things you will study further. As of now, just try to understand that binary means two. Bi. The word binary means two. The word bi here stands for two. Now what is this two? Two means 0 and 1. There are only two numbers that we are talking about, and these numbers are 0 and 1. Okay, so these two numbers are the foundation of digital computers. Okay, and there are so many other examples of digital devices. For example, a digital watch. All of you might have seen a digital watch, and you must be wearing it right now also. It must be there on your wrist right now. If you are wearing it, you can see that how it is showing you the exact time. If it is 9:30, it will show you 9:30 like this. So this is a digital device which directly shows you the result, and the foundation of all digital devices is binary mathematics. Binary means 0 and 1. It works on that concept. We will learn it in the further classes that how it is being done. Then another example of a digital device is a calculator. You all use calculators, your parents use calculators, you must be having one at your home. You can ask your parents to show a calculator to you, and it has so many keys on that. You will just press the key, you will press the operator, and you can do addition of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, division of any two numbers, and you will directly see the result in the digital form. Okay, so all these are digital devices. Then moving further, we have the hybrid devices. What are these hybrid devices? mean combination. Whenever we say the word hybrid, we mean combination or combining. So what are we combining in hybrid devices? We are combining the features or the good qualities of analog and digital computers. When both analog and digital are combined together and both the qualities are there, then that device is known as a hybrid device. For example, an ECG machine. ECG machine is available in a hospital or a clinic, and a doctor can use it and show you the electrocardiograph or your heartbeat or your cardiology report. Okay, so this machine analyzes and then shows the result in a digital form. So both the features are used in this. That's why we call it to be a hybrid computer. So a computer is not just a monitor, a keyboard, mouse or a CPU with it. This is not just a computer. A computer is anything that takes your instructions, processes and gives the output. So an electrocardiograph is also a hybrid computer. Okay, a computer can be big, it can be small. Okay, so we don't have to focus that whenever we see a monitor or a keyboard or a mouse, then only we are going to call it to be a computer. Anything that computes, anything that calculates, anything that takes your instructions, processes it and gives you the result, that is called a computer. So all these three kinds of categories that we have discussed right now, analog, digital and hybrid, these three are different categories of computer categorized on the basis of their purpose. Okay, now we will move on to the second category, which is the classification of computers on the basis of their size. Okay, so the first one is the supercomputer. So what do we mean by a supercomputer? Computer which is not just a computer, which is supercomputer. For example, a man with superpowers is called as a superman, and the superman is very different from a normal man, because what a normal man can do or cannot do, the superman can do all that. So because why? Because the superman has got superpowers. It can do wonderful things, it is very fast, it can fly, it can do things in a very speedy manner. These are the qualities that a superman possess, and not everybody can be a superman. Similarly, a supercomputer is a computer which has superpowers. It can do so many things that a normal computer cannot do. The size of a supercomputer is very, very huge. It is so huge that you need an entire room to keep it. Okay, and it is used for so many purposes, like it is used in research. The scientists in the country, in the world, they are using supercomputers, and because it is very fast, it can process 1 trillion instructions in a second. 1 trillion instructions in a second can be processed by a supercomputer. So you can imagine how fast it must be, right? So these are used in defense areas, militaries of various countries use supercomputers, scientists use them. They are used in the medical field where the doctors are researching about so many other things. So it is used there. Okay. The second category is a mainframe computer. A mainframe computer is as good as a supercomputer, but the only difference is that the instructions it can take per second are a little less than what a supercomputer can. In this case, the number of instructions that can be processed by a computer, a mainframe computer, are 1 billion instructions per second, which is a little less than what a supercomputer can do. And the size of a mainframe computer is also comparatively smaller than the supercomputers. Okay. Then the third one is the server. So you might be hearing this word every day these days, server, because we all live in the era of internet. So servers are very common. So we can say that a server is basically the memory of a computer. Whatever you need the computer to tell you, you need a server to store those instructions in it. So a server is basically a We can configure any computer into a server. We can make any computer a server very easily. We just need to install the server software in that computer, and any computer can start working as a server. So we need a server to connect more than two computers with each other. We need a server to connect them. Okay. So a server is very handy when we talk about internet, and you might also have seen servers when you work on Google for your project. So Google also has servers, because whatever instructions you are typing on your computer and sending, those instructions are being sent to the servers of Google, and then you get back your results. So these servers are very fast. You just type and press the enter key and the results are waiting for you already. So this is how a server works. Then the fourth kind of computers is the microcomputer. What is a microcomputer? So a microcomputer is a very normal computer that you see every day. Your desktop computer is an example of a microcomputer. Desktop computer is the ones that you see in your schools, that you see in hospitals, banks, everywhere. The normal computers that we work on, or we also call them to be a personal computer or a PC. These are the microcomputers. Okay. Then comes the mobile devices. Why are we calling these devices to be mobile? I have already written some examples: laptop, tablet, smartphone, smart watches, digital camera. Why am I calling all these devices to be mobile devices? What is mobile? Mobile is not just a phone that you are holding in your hand. Mobile means mobility. Anything which can move from one place to another. That is what we call to be mobile, or it has mobility in it. Right? So, when we talk about supercomputers, when we talk about mainframe computers, when we talk about servers, desktops, your PC, when you are moving from one place to another, you cannot carry them with you, and these things cannot move along with you. Are you getting what I am saying? If you want to go from your house to your friend's house, will you be able to carry your personal computer with you? No, because you have to take out all the settings and then go back to that place, and it is very, very difficult to carry it with you, because there are so many parts that you need to take. These parts are heavy, they are fragile, they are delicate, you might break some of them, you might not be able to configure it back again. So these things cannot be moved from one place to another. So we need some devices, we need a computer which can move with us. So what are those devices that can move with us? So this is a laptop. You already know what a laptop is. It is very similar to a computer, but it is a compact thing which you can carry with yourself whenever you are going out. You can keep it in your bag and you can use it, open it anywhere, anytime. Then comes the tablet. Tablet is a little bigger than a mobile phone and a little smaller than a laptop. Laptop से छोटा और mobile phone से बड़ा एक tablet होता है, which is very similar to your computers. It will do all the tasks for you that you need to do on a computer. Okay. Then comes the smartphone, which you are already holding in your hand right now, or you might be having it at your home. So that's a smartphone, which is also the smallest computer you have. Then the smartwatches. These days smartwatches are very popular. You wear a smartwatch, it keeps a track of your pulse rate. It will tell you how many kilometers you have walked, how many steps you have taken today, what have you eaten, and all these things. You just need to connect that smartwatch to your smartphone sometimes, and sometimes this connectivity is also not required. This smartwatch works for itself. Okay. Then comes the digital camera. The digital camera is a camera which you can use anywhere, anytime. You can process all your photographs and you can take a printout directly from the camera. So these are all the examples of mobile devices. So this is all for today. I hope this video was clear to you. If you have any doubts, you can send them on the WhatsApp group. Till then, please keep going through these videos and keep studying. Stay safe.